Okay, this will be by far the longest video of this whole segment because this is all about sharing your unique value as a thought leader. And whether you're a life coach or you're building a business, you're going to need to express your viewpoint to the world. And there's no robot or there's no artificial intelligence or no systematic, perfect somebody, a VA that you can hire, virtual assistant that you can hire to bypass this step. This step is a step where this is your authentic voice, your expression, and your contribution to the industry. And so this is going to be the longest video, just a warning, but it's going to be the most valuable video. And this is the meat and potatoes. What is your voice that you're bringing to your industry? And so we're going to go step by step. So this is the meat and potatoes, share your value. And basically, like I said, this is your thought leadership value. And I've got an image attached. I'll show you. This is if you're a life coach, this is your unique perspective that you're here to show up and add as your contribution to your industry. And this is going to be why people consume your content. This is why your target is going to want to listen to you. You want to give the equation of how you see things in regards to this particular topic. The topic here is starting a business. And in my case, my equation for this would be any success is built on a pile of failures. And also my opinion is that failure does not even exist in terms of a net negative, because technically every time you figure out what does not work, that's data collected. Plain and simple. You've just collected more data that can help experiential data, and the only way for you to actually get your end result is to acquire enough experienced data along the pathway so that you can traverse that path and you can get to the top of the mountain of where you want to go. That for me is in terms of starting a business, I would really emphasize having to collect a lot of failures along the way as mile markers along the way, invaluable mile markers along the way. So I'm going to share my thoughts, I'm going to share my feelings. That's going to be basically the core of my entire message here, because there's a lot of things that people are looking for, and I'm going to also add in what they're looking for, like for example, specific steps. I'm going to talk to those things. I'm also going to add in some of the very specific things, so legalities, sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, S Corp, those types of things. I'm going to mention how to do it without money. I'm going to, if this is an article that I need 8,000 words for, and now I'm not, if I really wanted that many, I would make this tremendously comprehensive. Because this, again, the value of getting an article ranking at the top of Google is that you now have an asset, an evergreen asset. This now, it's like Monopoly. If you've played Monopoly, the point in Monopoly is you collect those properties because you can trust that every single time someone passes go, you're going to have somebody land on your property. And so having a piece of content, an article that's tremendously comprehensive, like for this keyword, starting a business. Let's say I owned this monopoly property of starting a business, and this is at the top of Google because it is so comprehensive and so useful and so valuable and so relatable and so on point with where somebody is at and helpful. And this is ranking at the top of Google. Well, now every single month, just think of every 30 days is like going around collecting $200 every 30 days, every 30 days, every 30 days. Well, this is how you collect one of the larger properties like Pennsylvania Ave, for example. If I write a really comprehensive starting a business, this thing gets so many searches a month. This is like me coming in and maybe even getting Park Place, right? And if I'm going to write this comprehensive an article, it's going to be of tremendous. I know I need to know that my return on invested minute for dollar return is going to be worth it. And so strategically, I'm going to choose, if this is what I'm going after, I'm going to make sure that this is the best piece of content on the internet. And I know that mine is going to be superior because I've already got a systematic way of seeing what the ingredients are on the Thanksgiving table of what this keyword has. So I've got all those elements, but the one thing that's going to put this by far above and beyond any piece of content on the internet is the authenticity of my unique expression, the human element that no artificial intelligence can fake. No robot can go and just collect stuff and have it be as useful and valuable as what my own individual expression is as a thought leader of my industry in terms of starting a business. So that sets the stage a little bit. Let's take a look at this image. So watch this for me to show you. So I'm going to actually, after this is where this video is going to go. And then I'm going to have, this is part 1 video. And I warned you, this is going to be a little bit long. But this part 1 video is going to be, again, the most important part. This is your expression. This is your take. And then there's going to be another video here showing some other ways of collecting some of the meat and potatoes, your thought leadership value. Okay? So then what you want to do is you want to see the attached image below. When you're in this Asana, you can come over here, you click on this. This is basically to give a rough idea. Oh, maybe I'm zoomed in a little bit too much here. Here we go, it's thinking. So, authenticity, thought leaders' value. The thought leader's value consists of, this is your message that you're presenting and bringing to the world, okay? You've got your point of view that you're going to be sharing. So what are your feelings, thoughts, attitudes about the subject? I already have an idea because I've kind of been mulling around in my head as I've been collecting all this data what I want to share. I want to share that you have to collect you want to collect as many failures as you possibly can. So let's just do that. Let's go here and let's dictate just briefly. We're just going to capture this idea real quick. Any success is built on a pile of failures, period. Talk to any multimillionaire success entrepreneur and they will tell you that the only way they got to the top of their mountain is by stumbling along the way and figuring out what does not work in the form of many small failures, period. I like to think of the Super Bowl when it comes to being able to even make it to the Super Bowl. You can't do this flawlessly. You cannot make it to the top and refuse to have some fumbles along the way, period. Fumbles are part of the game, and you have to accept that and figure out how to pick yourself back up. And then as you do so, you figure out what does not work and what does work, and get closer and closer to what does work as you play the game of building a business, period. New line. Building a business is exactly the same way. Oops, here we go, sorry. New line. Building a business is very similar to playing a championship sports game as a championship team, in that there are many things that go into making it a success. And the only way about this is to figure out what does not work, to figure out what does work successfully by learning what does not work along the way, and from learning from others who have gone through this pathway, period. New line. Okay, so far, so we can copy that. Let's paste this in. So what is the first step? Blah, 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 blah. Website delegation to get your website going. Okay, so then this is where, as part of this, I'm going to share that one of the successful ways I've learned to build businesses is to delegate to third world countries skills and technology and all that stuff. To leverage the dollar and also leverage time and resources. So here's what we got so far. Doesn't have to be scary. Why am I starting a business? So let's bring this. I want to bring this up a little bit, because I want what is the first step before starting a business to be one of the very first things that people want to see and want to start jumping into. So the first step is to accept that the more failures you get, the closer. So the why. So know your why. Why am I starting a business? So I'm going to put that here. And it may or may not fit in this article. If it doesn't, I'll fit it somewhere else. But so far, I think this is a pretty good flow. What's the first step? Okay, where to begin? Learn how to delegate like a boss. So really, where to begin is here. Is to surround yourself with a network. Yourself with a successful, or let's see, set yourself up for success by networking, by expanding your network. And keep in mind that any success is built on a pile of failing. To acquire the data to know what. So this is all rough draft. I'm going to rephrase this later, but rough, like what am I talking about here? To acquire the data to know what works, you must also collect the data to know what doesn't work along the way. So this is kind of these are some of my key points here. You want to network. So right here, build this network, and you want so you want to network. You want to be prepared for some of the failures along the way, and you want to then learn how to delegate. So that, for me, that's my equation. I think if I was to sit down with somebody at a dinner table, I think I would say these three things. These are my three key points here. I would say network, and I would say success is built on a pile of failing, so be okay with that. And I would say learn to delegate. Okay, those three things. That way you can leverage, maybe even leverage some processes and whatnot that's working for other people. So here we go. Let's jump back. Let's come over here. So what are your feelings, opinions, attitudes about the subject? So those are my opinions, and that's the equation that I believe in. You've got to be willing to collect the failures. Okay, so that's my point of view. Benefits, what benefits or results, outcome will your listeners receive from taking your action steps? Okay, so what is the reward here? So any success, let's see. And I've got dictate here. Let's see, any success built on talk to. Okay, I've already put that in. So now let's do exactly what we were, what was that one? That was what benefits, results, outcome will your listeners receive from taking. So what do they want? If they want a successful business, they want freedom. They want, let's just say what it is. Through building a business, your character will gain raw grit, and you'll know what you're made of because you will encounter the entire spectrum of emotion through encountering hundreds of problems along the way of building your business and figuring out solutions to those problems, and also bouncing back from failures. Period. You'll find out what you're made of in a way where you otherwise never would, because you'll see what your real potential is and what you're capable of doing when you put yourself out there on the floor of the arena and allow yourself the fumbles along the way. Period. This is a little bit like that poem, The Man in the Arena, where it's not the critic who counts, but the one who is in there struggling and bleeding and falling down and getting back up again. Period. You'll experience hardships and sadness and heartbreak as you lose clients and as you disappoint, figuring out how to increase your value until you're finally of tremendously high value to your clients. And you'll also experience the thrills of taking on higher paying clients and feeling how exciting that is to know that your value is worth it to the higher spending and to those who have a budget that can pay for your value, period. I remember when I got my first high-paying client at $6,000 a month to help get them at the top of Google, and how exciting it was for me and my wife jumping around and being so high as a kite because of what this client means to the business. And although we were of tremendous help to this big fish in helping them with getting on the right track, this was some years ago, and I was not yet ready with organizational infrastructure to deliver at the level that this big fish demanded. And they did not yet understand the value of SEO and that search engine optimization can take many months in order to get a return on their invested money and my invested time into the project. And so this was also one of the big heartbreaks, period. But after acquiring some of these failures along the way and successes, I've learned that there is no other way about adding value to what you can deliver for clients than to try your best and to modify and change and then add value on top of value until your offering and your deliverables are at the level of consistency where anyone paying for your services always feels of tremendous gratitude that they moved forward in doing so, no matter the price tag, because they are receiving more money in their pocket than they ever put in your pocket, period. In summary, expect the high of the highest emotions and the low of the lowest emotions, and be okay that the full emotional spectrum is required to play the game. And also, fumbles along the way are the only way you can learn to add more and more value to your deliverables, so that your value becomes irresistibly worth it to pay month after month, period. So this is my authentic thought expression here. This is building a business. Any success built on a pile of failures. Know your why. So let's see. Right here, this is why. Right here. So any successful business is built on a pile of failures. Now that's not going to be the perfect thing, but this again is rough draft. I'm getting my thoughts. I'm getting my authentic expression into this. So this is kind of fun. So that's a huge paragraph, and I would break that up like crazy into several different paragraphs. But this is really starting to come together into something useful. So let's come back here. That is my point of view. That's the equation. What benefits or results will they get? So the benefit is they will feel more feelings, and that they will gain from any fumbles along the way, and that they will have success. Brainstorm for ideas. Jot down a story that relates. Got it. Jot down relatable analogy. Got it. Cluster ideas into, so this may or may not be important, but you want to get your summary ideas. Like, here's my points that I'm going to bring across, and consider why. So answer the questions. Consider why questions. Question is asked, then give your authentic value. So that's one of the next things we do, and then create value pitch. Figure out who I'm talking to. Who do you know that needs this? What do they need or want to know about the subject? So who am I specifically talking to? What do they really need? how does your specific listener feel about the subject right now? So this is like, who are they, right? Who is my listener? And I've already, you want to approach every article that you write from this perspective in order to give your authenticity and to create that. So to answer these questions, I'll show you how to answer the questions, but right here, what is the general action you want your listeners to take? So I want my listeners, I want them to go, let's say the general action is to expand their network and try something new. Or maybe I'll just have one. So I want them to find somebody who's done what they want done and do one step to get closer into their inner circle, whether it's buy them lunch or whatever, okay? What is the specific action you want listeners to take? Reach out to that person. So I'm gonna go ahead and just summarize this real quick. The action step that I want from my listener to take generally is this, new line. I want you to feel empowered and confident that you can do this and believe in your ability to build a business strong enough to take the first steps to building your own business. Period. Specifically, I want you to expand your network with someone who has traversed this trail that you want, this mountain that you want to traverse the trail, ... Fix all of this grammar, of course, ... And take one step towards getting into that inner circle of an expanded network of someone who can help you build that business or who has built a business, whether it is to offer to buy somebody lunch to pick their brain and ask them how they built their business, or if it is to decide on receiving free coaching with somebody who offers to build a business with you, like Tyson Bradley. And just do the one step required. One step towards having a little bit, towards networking with that person. Whether that's submitting a form on their website or friending them on Facebook, or adding them to your LinkedIn network, or calling the business directly, or scheduling an appointment somehow and just offering the person in leadership, whether it's the CEO or marketing director or whoever it is that you want to learn from, and try to connect somehow with them, period. Okay, so obviously this is not great grammar, but I'm getting my ideas here. I'm capturing my ideas. So I'm going to copy that. And this next step that I want them to do is going to be towards the end here. So legalities and delegation and all that stuff. I'm just going to put that towards the end right here. So this is the action. This is the call to action. So, in order for this to be complete, so this is the call to action. I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to, so this will be, if I was doing a podcast, same idea here, is you have your call to action. You want somebody to do something, right? There's a point in listening to your material. So this is the call to action here. So when I have that done, I'm going to come over here, meat and potatoes. I'm going to add that as a subtask here. I'm going to say, so far what we've had, I would have share my unique perspective as a thought leader in my industry. We did that. So I've give the equation. So collect fails. Give the equation. That's not really it. It doesn't need to be its own task. That's part of share my unique perspective. Okay. And then I would do call to action. Highlighted in Google Doc. Make sure you get that. And so share my unique perspective, done. Call to action, done. Let's take a look here. So what have we done? So what is a specific action you want them to take? Okay, what is the general action? Great, those are action steps. And we've also, let's see, benefits. What benefits or results, outcome will your listener receive? I did do that. So let's add that as a here. Boom. What benefits or results? Communicate the benefits or results, outcome. Your outcomes your listeners receive from taking your action steps. Done. We did that. And what else was part of this? So point of view, benefits, brainstorm the ideas, we've got the story, got a relatable analogy, answer the questions. So that's really where we're at now. So consider why question is asked, then give your authentic value. So now we're going to come back here. So now that we've captured a lot of our authenticity here, and really this is becoming kind of a lengthy, let's see how much we have here. If you're on a Google Doc, you can push and you do let's see. So far the words that we have 2,300 words. Bam, we are well on our way. Now to get to the rest of the way, all I have to do is I just go through and I'm gonna lay out. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time lay out answers to each of these, and really getting pretty close here. At least there's the end in mind. What is the first step? Got it. How can I start a business when I'm not sure what I want to do? So that's part of failing. All other questions. How can I start my own business with no money? Okay. And then, so what I would do, what is the first thing to do when starting a business? We got that one. Let's delete that. What is needed to start a business? A willingness. Superior content equals lots of images. Be at the top. How to start a business. So we're already kind of answering that one. How to starting up a business. How starting a new business. Okay. How starting a small business. How to start a small business. How to raise money for starting a business. I don't really want to raise money. I want sweat equity here. How starting a new. How to plan starting a business. So that could be kind of its own thing. How do you plan so that you get a business plan? How starting a catering business, not interested in that. Cleaning business, not interested in that, although I did build a window washing company before and got at the top of Google, and we got, because of my SEO stuff, that's actually when I started SEO. I figured out how to get that at the top. We got all the leads. We built a high-rise window washing company because we got all the leads in the valley. It was awesome. Starting a restaurant, nope. What to know when starting a business. How starting a business online ideas, how to get money for starting, how to get funding for starting. I don't really want to get funding. How to finance starting a business. I would just talk about side hustle. Gotta hustle. How to get help starting a business. How much does starting a business cost? That might be something to talk about. May or may not want to, though. How can starting a business help others? Ooh, that's really good. Doesn't really fit into my article for what I want to say. Where to start when starting a business. Got it. How to get advice. There you go. How to get advice. So right here, call to action, action step. Starting a business, resources, legalities, no money. Here we go. Pile of failures. Expect this and you will find success. I'm going to change that, of course, but what is the first step before starting a business? Where to begin? Okay, keep in mind, set yourself up, expanding your network. So part of that network is first step when starting a business, expand your network. This kind of answers that question. Anyways, you get the idea. You've got all of these questions you go through, and if you answer these, you don't have to answer all of them, of course. You just delete whatever is not working. Let's see. How do I get help starting a business? Those two are both related. How to make money, how to get help starting a business, where to get help, how can I get help, how much money, so how to plan, how to get help. So there's a lot of getting help. So I would say something about help advice, right? So you can kind of put those, rephrase those right here. So I've got this action step right here. Here's what you do. So take one step towards getting into the inner circle. Okay, so I got my general action here. I want people to do that. So how to get help starting a business. When you need, let's see. Here's how to get help starting a business. If you here is my advice on how to get help starting a business. So do you see what I did here? I used the word advice and I used the word help. That basically is going to cover what we wanted down here. Where was it? How do I get help starting a business? How do I get advice on starting a business? So we're answering that directly. We're creating a headline that answers that directly. So there's the call to action, but then here's my advice right here. Here's my advice on what I would do. Or here's my advice on how to get help starting a business. Network. Reach out to one person. That's my advice. So you see what we're doing is we're going through and we're going to just look through again, what is needed to start a business. Courage. How to plan starting a business. How much does starting a business cost you? Now, that seems to be one of those questions. Anyways, you get the idea. We've spent 41 minutes on this, or some good time. We don't have to spend that much time. We got a call to action. Consider why a question is asked and give your authentic value. So you got all these questions. Now you can go through and try to answer them the best you can, and turn them into. You want to kind of turn the questions into headline statements, and then you want to answer them. So there's those three. Share my unique perspective as a thought leader, communicate the benefits and results outcome for your listeners, call to action, highlight that. Those are done, and that's the meat and potatoes of if I were to share authentically with somebody how I would start a business, that's how I would do it. And then there you go. That's the first part. If your business is already at 2.5 million or more, we invite you to check out our 10x Accelerator program at 10xflowseo.com, where we can work together to help you reach 50 million or over 100 million per year. If you're not yet at the 2.5 million per year, then feel free to like and subscribe to help keep applying all this video knowledge, our entire playbooks designed to help you get to 2.5 million per year for free.